Hiya all my lovely Ali Pallies, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this week is week 3. It feels a lot longer, you know, since I started the Dr Sam Bunting, but I've got lots to update you on, including a breaking news story. So shall we get on with it? Here is the news. This week, Dr Sam Bunting withdrew her flawless gossamer. So I want to read you what was sent to me and to other people who had purchased the flawless gossamer. So it says, "Dear Ali, thank you for your recent purchase of flawless gossamer SPF 50. Since launching the product 2 weeks ago, some customers have experienced difficulty applying gossamer, and we're looking into this. Please rest assured that we don't believe this impacts the product's performance. Whilst we look into this, we put sales of flawless gossamer SPF 50 on hold because we want to make sure every product we bring to market lives up to the same stringent standards we've applied to the rest of our products. If you have experienced any issues on application, we'd love to know. Just reply to this email with your experience so we can fix things." Well, I did actually reply to the email, and I will show you my first impression, which I intended to put in this video. So you'll see that coming up. I was a little bit unsure about it when I first applied, and I think you'll see that. And so I gave them what I believe was a very fair opinion of what I thought of it. Summary being that as a standalone product, it doesn't work for me, but it actually does work over her flawless sunscreen. But do you want to be buying 2 sunscreens? And also some other things which I'll tell you about soon. So I gave the feedback, and they immediately sent me a refund and said that they're working on this and they're really sorry. So they've had a lot of complaints, but you know, I can't fault their customer service. They've asked for feedback from people that have received it and immediately sent out full refunds plus the postage. So well done to Dr. Sam's. I think that's a really good example of great customer care. So that was my news flash of the week, but it's also my let's look in depth at, or my spotlight, or whatever I call this next section. I've forgotten, but I'll soon remind myself. So let's go on to that. Okay, so this is kind of also my diary for the week. It's all the sections in one. So I tried the new flawless gossamer in 3 different ways. So when I first got it, I tried it over my foundation. Then I tried it under my foundation, but on top of my flawless daily sunscreen, and then I tried it on its own. So you're going to see me running through all those different methods. Hi everyone, excuse the funny angle of the shot. I know I'm not driving. I am parked legitimately in the hospital car park, but I just thought this arrived just before I left for my appointment to get my foot seen, and it's here, flawless gossamer. So I'm just going to show you the shade quickly while I've got 10 minutes to spare before my appointment. And rather than sit in the hospital, because everything's so miserable in there, I thought I would show you. I'm glad I got shade 2. Look, that is shade 2. So I'm very glad. If you're in any doubt and you're my shade, let me just rub that into my hand. I'm glad I got shade 2 because it looked very dark on the picture, but it's not at all. So I'm just rubbing that into my hand. and just seeing if I can see a white cast. I don't think I can. I'm not very sure whether this would suit Afro-Caribbean skin. That's the only thing I would say, because I think it's still quite fair. I think she maybe needs to do another colour, a darker one. But I will test this later on my face. But I just wanted to do this before I go in. Okay, so then I went into my hospital appointment and came out, and then drove straight to pick Jack up from school. And I had time to spare in the car park, and the sun was shining in on the car quite strongly. So I thought, let's test this over my foundation and see what it looks like. So that's the bit you're going to see next. Hello everyone, and I'm back. Ali M is on the move. So I thought that this would be a really good test to see whether or not it applies over makeup, because let's face it, if it does, it would be great, especially when the sun's shining and you feel like you need to top up. And so I'm just going to put some of this down here, first of all on my chin, just to see, and also it will help tidy up a bit of that lipstick. This is very light. Shade 2 is very light. Look at this. If that is shade 2, you really need to bring out some other colours, Sam. I wouldn't say it's completely free of a white cast. What do you think? I'm not sure whether it's because there's a white cast to it, or whether or not it's because the shade is too light for me. This is what it looks like on the finger. I'm going to put some now. I'm going to put some all around, because I want to see. It doesn't matter if it messes up my makeup, because I'm going home after this. But I want to see if in theory you can apply this over makeup. And obviously I'll talk about this in more depth on my weekly Sam Bunting review. Now, is that, maybe that's starting to adjust to my skin tone, or am I getting used to it? Now obviously I've got bronzer here. Let me just put some on my head next. Because this would be great if you can kind of, when you've got the sun, and I really have got the sun shining in the car window, if you can actually use this to top up over your makeup. Because let's face it, ladies, very few products you can do that other than sprays. Obviously it's going to take some of that blush away and some of that bronzer away, but you can always add that again. But it also might tidy up a bit of where my eye's been watering, so my eyeliner has smudged. It's great if you can use it as a concealer. Now, I will talk about this, as I said, a bit more on at the end of the week when I do my update. But Sam says that if you're applying this in the morning, that you're supposed to apply 6 pumps. And if that's the case, for you to get the right amount, then I think I will be mixing it with my other one, because otherwise this is going to run out very quickly with 6 pumps. It's got 50 mils. Well, Sam's other one is 50 mils, and you only have to apply 3 pumps. Now, does that mean that this is actually dispensing less per pump? I don't know, because I haven't actually dispensed a full pump. I will be testing that out for you. But 6 pumps seems a lot. not bad. I think it's adjusted a little bit to my skin tone. A little bit. But I'm not so sure whether or not it doesn't have. I can't decide whether or not it's got a white cast to it, which it says it doesn't, or whether it's just that the shade is too fair for me. Okay, right, so I'll just put some now on the palest part of my arm, like so. And that's what it looks like. And I'm going to just put your photograph here. Okay, I think this swatch shows what the problem is with this product. So you can see that it's almost not emulsified. So the oil and the other products are not mixed properly, so it's splitting. And so there is some pigment there, but there's also white fluid there, and it's just very bitty. Now, that was my experience when I applied this on its own without using the other sunscreen underneath. It just looked very, very patchy on my skin, and not very flattering at all. And I definitely think now it was a white cast and not really about the pigment. I just don't think that the two ingredients are mixing. The pigment and the sunscreen are not mixing adequately. They've not emulsified. So I think that's what's causing the problems, and I think that's why the product has been recalled. But I'm going to show you in a second. You're going to see a swatch of it blended into the palest part of my arm. And I think this is going to show you my experience of putting it over the sunscreen and under my makeup, which was actually very good. It left quite a nice finish. So I think it's definitely got potential, but I don't think they've got the pigment mix quite right in terms of what is shade 2 is actually coming out really pale. I suspect that all the shades are coming out really pale because the pigment is not mixing with the sunscreen ingredient, if that makes sense. So, yeah, so that's it, basically. And I'm just going to finish off with a conclusion about this product. So here's the pictures I took in the car of when I'd applied it over my makeup. Doesn't look too bad without the flash, but when the flash is on, you can see the white cast, and it's, yeah, you can see that there's a problem with the colour, but I think it's more a white cast. I don't think it's the shade. So that's coming up now. And I think a little bit of flashback, but it's definitely got a white cast to it. So I think it's just where it's not mixing with the pigment, as I said before. But you're now going to see me trying it on top of a daily sunscreen, and under makeup. Okay, so this morning I'm going to try this under my makeup. I have actually put some sunscreen on because I do not intend to put 6 pumps of this on. Okay, so I'm going to put this on now, and then we shall see what it looks like under makeup. I've slowed this bit down and I've zoomed in so that you can see exactly what I think the problem is here. So as I go to apply it, you'll see the pigment as I apply it to my cheeks. And then as I go to rub it in, you'll see it splits. The pigment splits off, and then all you're left with is white. And that's the issue with it. It's not mixed properly. It's not emulsified. So it's just turning white on the skin. So it's definitely not the shade. It's to do with the product. And I think that's the issues. So, but I'm going to stop this now, and I'll just fast forward the next bit, because then you'll see what it looked like under my makeup. Because actually, the formula, even though there was an issue with it mixing the pigment and the actual sunscreen mixing, when it was rubbed in, the formula actually looks really beautiful under makeup when I applied it over the top of her other sunscreen. So there's definitely potential in this, and I'm excited for when they recall it, when they bring it back. I mean, not recall it, when they bring it back. Okay, that's me done. I have to say, I think it does give you a very smooth finish. But I'll see how my makeup lasts throughout the day. So I hope that you found this helpful, and I will update you later on. Okay, so that is nearly my update for the week. So let me just tell you, so this week I increased to 1 pump. I've just started to increase to 1 pump of each of the serums, and my skin is doing fine. My neck is still peeling a lot, but otherwise it's fine. But I don't have a confession of the week, because I've been very good this week, not used any face scrub, and I've stuck to it, mainly because I've been too busy to just reach for anything else anyway. But I do have an empty of the week. I've already run out of the moisturiser. Now, I do have quite dry skin at the moment, so I've been using 2 pumps at night, but 3 weeks and I'm out of the moisturiser. But I knew that I wanted to restock that because it is so good around the eyes. It's really helped to firm up under the eyes, just make it feel less fragile. So I've ordered some more of the moisturiser, and it's one of my favourite products actually. It's just so simple, but the fact that you can use it around your eyes and on your face, and it just feels really smoothing, and it's got some great ingredients. I love it. So I'm stocking up on that. But obviously, while I'm waiting for the new moisturiser to arrive, because that's the only thing you can't actually see when you're running out of anything with Dr. Sam's packaging, because it's white, it's not see-through. So while I'm waiting for that, obviously I've been using another moisturising cream, and I'll put it below in a minute. All right, but this is my makeup with that sunscreen over the top of the other sunscreen, and I do think it's got a lovely smoothing formula, and once they get the pigment mix right, I'm sure it's going to be great. And I'm going to leave you now. I did film, obviously this is now week 3.5 really, but I did actually take these photographs at the end of week 3, so you are seeing the proper comparisons. Again, I can't see a huge difference, but thank you to all of you that say that you're seeing it. Maybe because I'm seeing myself every day. But anyway, I hope you like this, and next week I think, well, I'll be choosing another product to take a closer look at, and a few more discussions about various topics around Dr. Sam Bunting. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.